Oh, where's my alert? My alert's disabled in this loading screen. I'm a big dum-dum. That's okay. We're going to get out of here in a moment. Where's my camera? All right. Hello. There they are. How you doing? So, I've got my scratched Ray-Bans, my scrubs on. I've got scrubs on. Navy blue scrubs. We're ready. We're ready. And I'm balding, so it all works. It all works. It works so well. I don't think you understand. So, welcome to I almost ruined it. I almost ruined it. Almost got sued. Look out. Welcome to Faust Ones, the hot show with even hotter mix-ups. All right, let me bring up my engagement, just so you guys aren't wasting your channel points. Give me a sec. Spin of the wheel. Oh shit, where did it go? I'll see it pop up. Yo, you got an afro, just like me, just like Big Papa. All right. So, here's the deal. I was completely dissatisfied with last stream. It was poorly structured. I went like 1 and 2. I mean, I got 2 wins by DQ in Big Levo 3, right? But I went 1 and 2 on stream. So I didn't even last longer than the hot wings that you guys were like feeding down my gullet. 27 wings. I don't know what I was thinking. I got to 22 and tapped out. But we hit the last dab on wing 21 by my count. And it was August 21st, Faust's birthday. It was preordained. Preordained. There is no RNG. It's all fate. Everything that needs to happen will happen. Oh shit, there's a lot of spin of the wheels. Fuck me. Alright, let me get it up then. Minimize that. I put out my socials, so that's all done. The value of cross-promotion, right? That's the secret. Cross-promotion and being present in your videos. You guys love that. Oh, I missed all of chat. Sorry, guys. I was too focused on my intro. I'm gonna cut this up for YouTube. This is a much better format for YouTube, by the way. Like, I had like 4 hours of stream archives on the last show, and I'm like, this is so fucking dumb. This is so stupid. So today, as I was saying, we have 10 wings, and they're all slathered in Los Calientes barbacoa, but also then dressed in a generous amount of the last dab hot sauce. Like a dollops per wing. So I did about 10 or so dollops, large dollops, and then mix that about. So they're coated, they're covered. I ate a little bit of the Los Calientes earlier. There's no spice. It's not spicy. Literally ketchup, all right? But I'm already feeling, I have some ice cream downstairs if I want it. I have my water bottle. So I'm just gonna eat the wings, and I'm gonna go through these patch notes, and you can watch me sweat and baste in my own juices, all right? While I talk about the patch coming up. And my focus here, so it's not just another patch reading, my focus as a Faust player is always, how are the changes related to Faust? Like, what are the changes going to mean for the matchups going forward? You know, he's got a few changes. I'm sure you've all read the notes already. So I'll just go down and give my take. You know, I was saying earlier this week, I'm like, man, I hope they buff his mid-range options. So he did get a few mid-range buffs. I'm not sure if it's enough, but we'll see. Yo, Saltem Roik, what is up? I'm eating hot wings. Can't you tell by my sick logo? You know? Is that not self-explanatory enough? The red background? I'm gonna get fucked. Pardon me, this is supposed to be a family-friendly stream. It's not. It's not. Children, go home. Go home. And if you're already home, well, you can just leave the stream open. Your parents will never find out. Okay.
Krackatoa.
Man, you guys are hitting this wheel. All right. Okay, I'm going to go through those. I'm going to go through the wheel rolls. And then, now that I have everything figured out, we'll have some fun. Okay, this is for Blarg 2. I think I already did you, but you get a bonus one. Yo, you got a Chibi Faust? Jerp. You got a bomb. Nice. Waffle fries. Meteors. Bracket man, PS. Toot toot. You got the horn. Jerp again? Man, you guys are just cashing in, donut. You're trying to see that blue one? The blue one on the wheel? That's a free sub out of my own pocket. Because I'm a salary man. Just like my hero Nemo. Nemo-san, who now plays Leo. Used to be Salaryman Leo. Or Salaryman Nemo. That's how he got so strong. Okay, Celio gets 3 spins? 4 spins, 5 spins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 spins. 1. Yo, you got it. You hit it. You hit it. You hit it. I can gift you one. Hit me up later. All right. And you get 3 more. Meteors. Chibi Faust. Horn. Nice. So, let's bring up the notes. Where is it? This one? Hey, there we go. There you are. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So here is... Actually, maybe I should take the glasses off for this so I'm not messing them up. Ugh. So, in this box, I pre-dressed them. I don't know. I don't know what I've made with regards to my status as a Twitch streamer. But that's okay. I'm not too rushed. Oh, I can smell them. Oh, no. This is bad. This is real bad. What am I doing? This is so stupid. There's a lot of hot sauce here. I did 2 last dab wings last time. It smells vile. Actually, it doesn't smell too bad as far as hot sauce goes. But I'm going to get fucked up. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted last time. I was let down. All right. So you guys can drop subs if you want. If you like the content, if you want to support the channel, if you want to get a Faust Jam emoji, because I don't have access to animated emojis yet. I'm not big enough. So I figured this time, because you guys like smashed through the sub goal last time, this one is just like there's no sub goal. Actually, that's not true. There is a sub goal, but let's see if I can find it. There's a cosplay. It's not a Faust cosplay. But I think you guys might like it. Or you might cringe super hard. We'll find out. If you get there. Alright? It's not a big goal either. That's not Jacko. Maybe you'll find it hot. I don't know. Depends what you're into. Okay. So here we are. We're at Faust. So I think I can skip the general system mechanical changes. Because these are more like... Oh, Jacko's coming. They're working on network mode. Fixing like text not showing up because of rollbacks. Volume on certain songs. That's good. Yeah, it's all just like quality of life fixing of standard bugs. So we're here for the strategy. All right. Yeah, Wet Bandits cosplay. I gotcha. I'll call up our boy. What's his name? I can't remember his name. The short guy. First wing. Going in. Joe Pesci. Thank you so much. Jeez Louise. Holy shit. I was like kicking myself. I'm like, isn't he like a big actor? He is. All right. How do I want to do this? Should I get gloves? No. It's okay. It's a little soggy. Going in. No fanfare. You're asking what I think about the patch? We're getting to it. So that was good. That's a hot wing. You might see me start sweating, but I think that has more to do with the fact that my room is just ablaze. It's high of 32 today. It is very humid, very hot. Don't worry about missing this stream, by the way. I'm going to cut it up for YouTube. But we are now bullshit blazing, all right? Pretty good. Let's start. Okay. Faust. Balance intentions. All right. We're looking into the intentions of Arxis here. They're giving us a glimpse into the eldritch horror that is Daisuke's mind. All right. Bone-crushing excitement causes wall break. Finally. For real? Are you serious? It's about time. This benefits Faust's extra damage output and tension gauge gain. It does. So, the damage might be better now because you can confirm right into super off certain hits, right? Like you can do close S, 2H super, or off a sudden splat, you go right into super. That's more damage than you would get off doing like a 6H. I will say, however, in a sense, I'm a little disappointed because I spent a ton of goddamn energy optimizing not having a wall break super, right? All those grounded wall splat things, setups I would do, the multiple videos I made on the subject, those might be irrelevant now because it'll be much better to just break the wall, take the hard knockdown, throw a couple of items, and go in, right? So, that's the situation on Bone Crushing Excitement. Shin Privilege Revoker. I don't know what the specifics are to the wall break, whether it's guaranteed or not, but still good. Still good. There are still going to be many more ways to crank damage using this super versus your other options. And the hard knockdown you get, plus potentially getting multiple item tosses into Oki after the wall break, that's nice. That's stronger than you might suspect. Next point. It's now easier for Faust to prevent the opponent's approach using his improved standing heavy slash. If you look down there on the chart, it says increased active time and increased damage on the follow-up hit, the little slam he does on the second press of H. We don't know how much more active it is because they didn't say, the goobers, you know. It could be anywhere from a couple of frames where it's just like a barely tangible benefit to a whack ton of active frames. For its animation, Faust's standing H has like, it does not have enough active frames. It just like, he has it out there for a while, but most of the time it's not persistent. I think it's only 4 frames active in the current version. I would have to, it's 2? That's ridiculous. So, I have some harsh critique of whoever did initial pass of Faust, but it doesn't sound like they played Faust. I mean, he didn't have a functional air throw in the goddamn beta when he was put in, so this is good. So even like 4 active frames, it could even get way larger than that. It could be like a May normal, where it's like 7 or 8 active frames. And that would be a huge difference. Huge difference. With more active frames, it'll have that stick your hand into the blender effect, right? Where you stick it out, and someone is just like making a read in neutral with like, say, Faust or Soul 6 S, for example, big problem normal, or even Far S. They're more likely in those kind of like situations where you both happen to like make a read versus forward movement, right? You are gonna win using 5H. Because it's just gonna be out, it's gonna be perpetual, right? So that's good. This buffs his mid-range a bit. It buffs one aspect of his mid-range. Let's continue. This greatly increases his pressure at mid-range when combined with the increase to his crouching H, hitbox, and the faster startup on his aerial dive kick. Okay. This is kind of like what I was looking for in the patch, right? So, I said, if you guys had tuned in previously, I'm like, his mid-range is really weak, and he needs love there. So maybe I'll eat another wing. Hold on. So it's not that jump 2K was too slow, but this is a buff to the move itself, right? So it's going to be more, it's going to be able to counter hit in certain situations now where it couldn't before because it's faster, you know, more likely to hit the startup of a move versus in the middle of it or towards the end, right? The startup buff is going to be useful in matchups like Axl, where if you jump over Renson, right, the increased speed will allow you to counter hit him in recovery. This is very good for counter hit recovery attacks, right?
Krackatoa!
Reduce the hurt box before the attack comes out. This is exceptionally important. So a thing about Faust is he needs roughly a 10 frame gap to get over most S normals, like far S. He needs like 8 to 9 frames, maybe a little less than that, 7, to clear 2S style normals. Could be, I'd have to double check the actual frame data. By reducing the hurt box before it comes out, lifting him up, right, his body up, you can now jump and tuck your air hurt box in so that you need less time to clear a normal. So counter poke, dive kick, has gotten buffed. So that's fantastic. Counter poke, dive kick getting buffed makes his mid-range far more powerful. Hello, Arbo. Welcome. I'm getting spicy. Anyways, the mystery change. Adjusted opponent blowback on hit. What does this mean? Only Daisuke knows. I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue what it means. Blowback can be knockback. So greater knockback, greater knockup, like on air hit. Like they could change the entire launch trajectory of the move on air hit, because on air hit, it fucking sucks ass, right? But they could buff the attack level. Yeah, I think Arby has it right. Thanks, Arb. That's exactly it. Blow it out your ass. You know? That's just gonna... That's just gonna be it. So blowback would be something different? Good. If they buff the attack level, he might combo in places he didn't used to. Confirms might be easier. He might create more block stun, right? When he goes to... when the dive kick is blocked. This is all like a major buff to Faust. If they made it a level 4 move, right? That's the dream. I don't think they will. Level 4 is the heaviest attack in the game. Pot 5H, Faust 6H, your 2H, your 5H, all level 4 moves. Levels are the category of like how heavy the move is. How much block stun does it cause on the opponent? How much hit stun, right? There's 5 levels. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So a dive kick I think is a level 2 move. Level 2? I have the frame data open right now. Level 2. In old games, it was level 4. It was one of the heaviest normals outside of level 5 moves, which were configured uniquely by the developer, right? They're like this Potemkin 6H is a good example. It's a level 5 move in the sense that it causes even more. It has a unique value to it. Whether or not it launches or bounds or whatever on airhit depends on how they code it. Well, we'll talk about 2H. 2H decreased the hurt box on startup and extended the hitbox in front of Faust. So what this means is that landing far S at max range doesn't mean you can't combo into fuck all anymore. All right? You can finally do far S 2H at max range, maybe. Not all ranges, depending. But most ranges now. As opposed to just like, you like counter hit the person, you bet your life to counter hit them with far S, and you can't combo into fuck all. Fucking dog shit move. So now, the 2H reaches further. That's good. Because that also means you can clip them further away with 2H. You get a better item toss, right? So this buffs 2H item toss. So there's a lot going on. And decrease the hurt box. Did they pull it in? Which I would hope they did. This makes it better at going under certain jump-ins, right? So in this game, landing recovery is punishable, but Faust 2H is so big that you're liable to try and poke under them and get clipped as they fall, right? Because you need to do your button earlier than their jump-in to catch their landing frames, right? And so they would just land on the 2H and you get counter hit. And it sucked. Good example, if you're playing in the pot matchup and he does Mega Fist and you try to whiff punish him too early, you get counter hit from like full screen. It's so stupid.
Krackatoa!
So with the change to 2H, it's going to be easier to do that kind of stuff. And it's going to be less likely to just lose in neutral to random pokes. That's excellent. So that's a buff to item toss at a distance. That's buff to mid-range exchanges across the board he's gotten. Now, I will say, in situations where he's 0, in certain matchups, I don't think he got enough to even out certain scenarios and matchups, but this is a markedly better situation and will actually make him much more potent in many matchups in general. Yeah, I was hoping, personally, for a buffed 2P. I would like 2P to be a level 1 move, so it causes 2 more frames of block stun. This would make jumping after 2P on hit. You would be able to clear far S style normals, and then paired with these dive kick buffs, you would actually be able to threaten at mid-range. Because right now, being at 0, you lack a lot of mid-range, fast mid-range tools. Your dive kick, essentially, is your only fast mid-range tool. It doesn't take long to jump over a normal, but in this game, it kind of does. It takes about the same amount of time it would take to like stick out a far S. But your far S, Faust's far S, is below average in speed. His 2S is below average in speed. He doesn't have a good 10-frame button. He just has more 5P2P, 5P2P, 5P2P. He has a 5K, but it doesn't challenge like most mid-range options because he's so goddamn tall. And shimmy in some matchups isn't an option. It's not relevant. So he kind of struggles in those situations where he's not far enough away to shimmy, walk back out of range with this good back walk, and then whiff punish. And he can't get up off the ground to dive kick. There's a lot of situations where that crops up and the opponent just mashing on H or mashing on S. You just can't challenge it. So I shouldn't say you can't challenge it. You can usually like 5P or 2P again. But is that really good? Right? Because you're put back in a similar situation depending on the matchup. Some matchups it's fine. In some matchups, this dynamic is not a problem, and Faust actually can, like, if he lands a button, he can well-challenged characters with, like, 12-frame far S's. Or mid-range pokes that don't reach high enough to catch him jumping. But against certain characters, this is not the case. Soul is one of those characters, I feel. Mei has some good options. Geo has exceptional options against Faust. Post like 2p. When he's the 0, it's like nuts. Especially considering she goes under 5k. Yeah. So we're 2 wings in. We finished Faust. And now I'm just going to go through the roster. We're going to start from the top and work our way down. And I'm going to talk about how it relates to Faust. I'll give you my thoughts. I haven't wrote a script or anything, so we'll just start at Soul. And I'll give you my hot takes. Hot takes. We'll start our hot takes with a hot wing. I think for 10 wings, this is probably spicy enough, I guess. But I'm not dying. That's the problem.
Hellfire!
Hey, Crack, do you use RC macro and dash macro? Absolutely. My layout is like the classic GG type A. PKSHD. Wait. PKSHD. Dash macro in the middle.
Going
And
away.
RC to the side. Makes it good. Yo, Paprika. Speaking of spice. Thanks for the sub. I'm very pleased. Thanks for coming. All right. It's hard to talk. This is a spicy wing. I'm salivating a lot. But I'm not that uncomfortable. All right. Okay. Changes focus on differentiating. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go point by point. Because I'm sure you've all read this, so I'll just speed it up. Forward S got nerfed. All right. You can now 6p under it. You can probably crawl under it, which means you can crawl under both far S and 6S. That's good. Now we can do dash 2S. His 2S got buffed because Arxis, right? Side buffs. Always side buffs. This happened to Johnny. My mouth can't make enough saliva right now. It's making too much. I'm like drowning. So 2S will probably see more play to stop you from crawling, because you can now crawl in neutral, which is very strong. That'll give you a free reaction with punish. We'll see. We'll see if it catches crawl or not. I think it'll go under, so that's good. He got crouching K buff. That's a buff for the Faust matchup. Now it's way easier for him to knock down off blocking mix and stuff. So that sucks. S version of Volcanic Viper got an active frame buff, but a recovery nerf. That's good for Faust. That's just great for Faust. Actually, no. Nope. Never mind. I'll tell you why. You could beat out S Volcanic Viper with Jump D if you had Afro on. And that is not the case anymore. Thanks to the active frame buff, you can't do that. That setup was kind of sus anyways. But Faust also had like a undPable safe jump jump H against Soul S uppercut. And subsequently the H uppercut, which was slower. And not anymore, I don't think. I think that's gone. So that's actually a nerf to Faust, even if you can now punish S Volcanic Viper in mid-range and on block more. So that's whatever. So that's not a buff or a nerf. I would say that's more of a nerf to Faust than a buff. So that's unfortunate. After blocking Bandit Bringer, more knockback. Fuck. This sucks. This is like kind of silly. I think this is a buff for Soul. I think this is a big buff for Soul. Faust has very limited options to deal with Bandit Bringer. And so his best reaction tool is probably actually like forward dash block. And it looks like that might not work anymore. I think Air Bandit Bringer might consistently push Soul away now. Ground Bandit Bringer will still have to be answered the same way. Where you press Prediction 5k and pressure to anti-air him. Or do Rising Jump Normals out of block stun as a hedge against like continued pressure, dash up throws and stuff. Going over Gunflame. Stuff like that. Wild Throw. That's like a 2-wing change. This is a buff to Wild Throw. It's not necessarily... I think in situations where Soul wants to hedge against throw vulnerable options and also obliterate the opponent. And he can do Wild Throw PRC. Can't he? Can he? Can he not? Can he? I thought he could. This is a buff. There are going to be situations where Soul pushes an opponent to want to play into throw. Yeah, Wild Throw PRC does exist. Yeah. So in matchups where people are doing throw vulnerable wake up options, you can't OS the Wild Throw. You can OS the Wild Throw. That's what I thought. So this is a huge buff in those situations. Whereas before, like landing a normal throw and having to RC it, that's not a lot of damage. Wild Throw, PRC, fast PRC might actually like obliterate. You know, it might do more damage. Especially if you can RC after the ground slam. Right? Depending. 50% pro rate? That still might not be enough. 200 damage, that's fucking stupid. That's so dumb, Vent. That's so stupid! I'm here struggling to do 110 with my RC. 120 on a good day? Most I've seen is 130. And quality of life change to heavy mob. Okay. Okay. Kai. Stun Dipper buff. Obvious buff to Kai. A Stun Dipper being a 5-frame move or like ridiculously fast. Maybe not 5 frames. Maybe it's slower in this version. But it's a fast friggin' move. And so being able to threaten that, being able to go under far S, being able to... No, caps is appropriate, Vent. This is just a very dominant option in neutral. And as a whiff punish. So his whiff punish game got buffed. He can probably run in behind a 2H on reaction. Any whiff normal. Faust 2S. Even Faust like 5k. Maybe? Maybe he can whiff punish on reaction. If he's really paying attention. We'll see. It doesn't connect at max range in 5 frames. But it might be much better as a whiff punish now. Maybe. We'll see. Dragon Install now increases tension gauge gain after a set period of time, as other overdrives do. All overdrives increase tension gauge after time? I didn't know that. Maybe that's a mistranslation. But maybe it does. Maybe you get a tension gain buff. Someone will have to corroborate that. I think that's a mistranslation. I think it just doesn't negate tension gain. His far S getting buffed? This is actually like good against Faust. Faust's mid-range punish options, right? He likes to jump and whiff punish far standing S with dive kick or a full jump in. So that's less likely to happen now. It's probably more in line with other characters. So this is going to affect mid-range. Kai's mid-range got buffed. Okay, gonna eat another wing. One more. Chicken wing. El Diablo. I got some sauce on my mic. Ooh. All right. May. So, she got buffed and nerfed. So this is a matchup where Faust struggles a lot. He didn't really have good options to challenge May's mid-range options. They were so stupid. So ridiculous. So, her far S and her 2S being so disjoint and so active and covered so much space in front of her made it impossible to fucking maneuver if she wanted to just press the button. You couldn't get over it. You couldn't get under it. You couldn't counter hit her because Faust is weak at counter hitting the opponent at 0, right? When he's neutral, like after 2P. He can't. He just can't. So, these changes alleviate that a little bit, but I don't think it's enough. So her far standing S, you can now 6P it, which is good. You might be able to crawl under it, which is probably dumb. The buffs to dive kick might allow you to counter poke in situations where she's trying to do this move. Maybe. We'll see. If you do 2P on hit and you hold up forward and you dive kick immediately, will you go over far S? That is a question that needs to be asked. I'll look into that as soon as the patch drops. Standing H, just like Faust, getting an increased activity, increased active frames. That's good. Hand in blender for her. Decreased recovery, harder to whiff punish. As Faust, you still can probably whiff punish it on reaction. I would be surprised if you couldn't. It's just less liable to lose out on prediction now, which is fine. If she's doing that and you're playing reactively, you whiff punish her. Patch labbing stream tomorrow? Maybe. I might be busy with work. We'll see. Crouching S. Decreased active time, thank God. And expanded the hurt box. Great. This is fantastic. This makes it easier to hit, easier to beat. I fix documents for a living. Paper documents. Overhead kiss. It got buffed. She could still probably break the wall in the corner. This is a huge buff. But now it won't be so much damage. And then the super changes. Yo, you done messed up. Thanks for the
Faust
sub.
changes are intriguing and Jack O looks like fun.
That's true. She does look good. Axl. It was hard for Axl to get significant returns on his P normals, despite the risk. Now can combo into Snail, even on grounded hit. So that's that leap back swipe move, I think. This is good against Faust. Oh, that's Rainwater? What the fuck is Snail then? Back to Dust Loop. What did I say? Well, they look identical. Well, whatever. Either way, I am hoping the Faust changes will make this matchup more manageable, but I don't think so. I think it'll still be kind of rough. One Vision getting buffed. It's a buff to Axl. I don't think he needed the buff. I don't think it's going to change much. We'll see. We'll see how the dive kick changes pan out. I don't see the 2H or the 5H changes making a big difference here in this matchup. Chipp. Dive kick got nerfed. Thank God. This is a huge buff for Faust in this matchup. It was already kind of like the goal to like get and go under it. Now it's much easier to hit him out of the move. So he can't the big issue was that you had to delay options. And even your delays could be beaten out because he could choose to dive kick at any point in his jump arc and win and be plus. How hot are these wings? These are covered in last dab. They're hot. I'm sweating. But, yeah. Far S, you can now 6P and crawl under it. That's great. Crouching S got buffed. So he does have answers now. But at least you'll probably you might even win. You might even be able to 2P his standing S at a distance. You can do that against Soul Far S safely. How many channel points to get you some milk? I can just get milk, I guess. I'll just go get some. I'll be right back. It's cartoned. Because I'm not a nationalist. Ha. Down with Parliament. Cartons only. I don't believe that. Let's go. Alright, big old glass of milk. It is not imported. It is definitely Canadian. It's got the Canadian flag all over it. It says made in Canada. I don't think we import our milk. We do for like cheese and stuff, I think. Cheese and like certain foods. But I think drinking milk is like all Canadian. Anyways, well, that helps. Okay, that's like all the changes. So like doing 2S to anti-air this dive kick, 2K can now work. Even like close S might work now. It didn't before. Potemkin. This calls for another wang. Chicken wang. Well, there's bones. Heat knuckle buffs. Fuck. That's good for pot. But your buffs, Faust buffs, make this matchup way better. There's a lot of shit you can do in neutral now, thanks to the dive kick buff. Like you can jump, not commit to anything, see him whiff some of his shit, whiff punish with dive kick. If the knockback makes things safe, if we can combo from dive kick, that'll be good for Faust. But this 6K of his getting the reduced recovery might lead to really strong pressure sequences from pot at mid-range, which is bad for Faust. Fix a landing recovery hurt box issue, that's good. And here's the thing. Faust 2H. Getting the hurt box reduction will allow you to whiff punish certain options much more easily now. Whereas before you might eat shit. Mega Fist I'm thinking of mostly. In neutral. You can now probably go under it more easily at more spacings. Back to Faust. Millia Rage. Standing H. Reduced recovery. That's like a non-change. That's like, I don't think that does anything. Hello, Tremere. Tandem Top getting a change. I'm not sure if that actually does anything either. This also seems kind of like a non-change for our matchup at least. Iron Savior getting a buff. Like these are all like, I don't see these as buffs. Luke is now following. Luke would know. Will this help you in the Faust matchup? What will this do? The S tandem top change. You can't get special cancels off max range 5H. Neither can Faust. Faust still can't.
Krackatoa!
Faust still can't fucking get cancels off max range 5H. But that sounds good for her. I don't think that's a huge deal. At least as far as Faust is concerned. Zato, okay. Zato got big buffs, in my opinion. Him being able to use 5H in mid-range as like a don't stick your hand in this blender or I win. Very strong. It's a very strong tool to have. And it got a hitbox buff. So this is... I felt like Faust could bully him quite a bit And this is going to be less the case. Sped the attack startup of 6p means he can probably combo from a standing P at close range now, which means he has a good, better GTFO options. This is just like a consistency thing. They're making this change to everyone, by the way. The 6p buffs, so that they combo from 5p. I don't know when the patch is going live. I'll be asleep. You know? And just a general Eddie summon buff. This is just like general buffs to him. I think Faust's buffs will sort of like counteract his buffs in this matchup. Your 2H getting buffed, getting a hitbox buff, means you can use it to actually kill Eddie more easily now. Whereas before you were likely to trade with shit. Ram. Okay, so lately I've been feeling better about this matchup. Faust getting dive kick buffs and hurtbox buffs on dive kick is a big deal. Because now you can dive kick over far S and grounded options like her 5H.
Krackatoa!
And you're not going to explode. You might actually win. So that's very good. You might even be able to sneak over H Banjo. So, yeah. You could dive kick over them before, but it required a very particular height and timing. And now you might be able to just go over it, which is good. Yeah, it's just the startup of dive kick, but that matters. Yeah. Daro getting increased forward movement is good for her, but I don't think it's like a game changer. Aggressa Ordono floats the opponent on grounded hit only when both swords are equipped. I think that's wall break. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe not. Is that a special move? Fuck me. I'm getting mixed up. I thought that was the super. I'm getting big mixed. Oh, jump 214S. My bad. Her air swipes. Fuck me. Okay, that's a pretty solid buff for her. Faust has answers though. Faust can crawl it after blocking the first hit. So you do have answers in this matchup. And I found that I'm having less issues dealing with her pressure now that I know what to look for on defense. I found that if you're staring at her feet, stare at Ram's feet when blocking her shit, her pressure strings, when she goes to throw Banjo, the sword tosses, she actually makes like a sigil underneath her toes. And that sigil comes out on frame 2 of the move. So if you're trying to like crawl as Faust, and you're always finding you're just getting clipped by her doing her Erar Lumo, the Rekkas, now you just hold down back, and when you see the sigil, you hold down forward. And it's very easy to react that way. Much easier. Sigil or glyph, one of the two. Anyways, the aerial H hurtbox change is good. This means you can now actually anti-air with like 2S and stuff. Like you have better answers now that used to lose outright for free. So that's good. Leo. This one needs a win. This change needs this just the one patch note. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know what to say about this. This is classic Arxis Temworks. All right? This is absolutely 100% the most Arxis change I've ever fucking seen in a long time. Fuck. I'm so excited. Because I have friends who play Leo. And I want to watch them play this character. I'll play Leo vicariously through them. Andrew, if you're listening, please. Please play. You don't have to, if you don't want to. I know how it goes. But dang. Friends, in quotes. After he made me clean up an entire bathroom full of vomit. A can of the cup. We're friends whether he likes it or not. Okay. Let's see. And Leo now moves forwards towards the opponent when using the dash button. That's just a quality of life change. Not a big deal. But the K change is like fucked up. That's so messed up. Nago. Mr. Nagoriyuki. They fixed his super and made it safer when it does goof. Far S giving him more blood gauge. That's a buff. Good buff. Makes sense. 6P getting a attack speed buff is also a universal change. Everyone wants 6P combos, right? Giovanna. Let's see. 6P can now combo. And a 6H buff. That's okay. I think this matchup is still going to be bad regardless of the Faust changes. Nothing Faust got here helped. Outside of 5H being more active. And I don't think that's enough to change the matchup all that much. Her dash is too safe. Her buttons are too good. Her buttons are too good and her dash is too safe. She does too much damage. I think this matchup's like super trash. And that's it. That's all I have to say about Geo. That's not getting any better. Anji. Big buffs. So now he can do his Fujin options in neutral. Now he can do lots of like real cute maneuvers, I guess. In neutral. Far as getting reduced recovery is a buff to his neutral. He can whiff it now and not die. His little fan toss got buffed. So that's going to change your answers against his offense, but that's fine. Let's see. Issei Ugi Sai extended the hitbox. Oh, super got buffed. Yeah, the projectile super. So, I'm really excited to see what this does. He's going to get like Kara Fujin setups. I think it's going to make him more interesting. He's actually going to be able to use Fujin setups as like weird prediction with punishes in neutral. We'll see if it gives him anything good. I know. Dash buffs. Movement buffs. I think that calls for a celebratory wing. Yeah, they're coded in the last dab.
Going my way!
Yo, Spooky Mooks, thanks for the resub. 3 months. Is that stuff good? No, it tastes like battery acid. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic. Okay, so. Better Oki. That's what this means. Better Oki. Better closing the distance. This is good against Faust, but honestly, I thought Faust won this matchup. And I think with the changes, Faust might actually have access to some heinous shit in this matchup. Faust changes. So Faust got buffed out the wazoo. Relative to Ino. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But nothing here scares me as a Faust player. She did get some like buffs that will help her a lot. But your corner damage is getting buffed. Your dive kick is buffed. Your 2H is buffed. Your 5H is buffed. So this isn't too crazy. A lot of these are like buffs if Ino hits you, right? And you have a lot of answers to, like, not getting hit. So, let's see. Goldlewis. Oh, a bug fixed a dust attack. His crouching K got a little buff, I think. 6P. He can out combo into 6P easily and correctly. That's good.
Krackatoa.
Yo, Bill Nyquil. Thanks for the follow. Skyfish getting... Ow. Bit my tongue. No. Ah. Skyfish getting changes. Good. And fix the bug. Okay. Is that it? That's everyone? Dang. I still have 3 wings left. I don't see the Goldlewis Dickenson. I almost said Bonelewis Dickenson. Or maybe I did earlier. Bonelewis Dickenson got quality of life changes. But nothing drastic. So I'm gonna do a bonus round. Okay? I'm gonna say how much the changes that Faust got affect the matchup. Right? Let's do it that way. And finish these last wings. I'll eat a wing for each change, because there's only like 3 or 4 changes, right? Okay, mid-range pokes. 5H and 2H getting buffed. Soul. It will make a big difference in this matchup. 5H being super active means you're more likely to win mid-range exchanges against far S, 2S, and 6S. That's good. Getting a 2H whiff punish at max range, super max range, is going to be easier and maybe more rewarding. I'm not sure. Kai. 5H and 2H will allow you to challenge his mid-range options as well. But because of the strong fireball game, you don't really want to throw big slow moves as much. You will, but less frequently than, say, like the Soul matchup. May. 5H might be good in this matchup. It's hard to say. She has such great whiff punish options, and her jump game is so good, you don't really want to whiff these big normals on the ground that often, right? Still good, though. Still good. Axl Low, these changes don't do shit. Nothing. 5H, 2H doesn't give you anything in this matchup. Chipp. The 5H will be good. It's explosive. The 2H, I don't think it's going to, like, be a big deal. You will have situations where you do want to use it. And so it winning in those situations, as opposed to like dying to random chip things, is fine. But your frequency and like the number of situations per round where you're actually going to win because of it, I don't think it's like that crazy. Pot, big deal. 2H having less of a hurt box is huge. He's looking to try and like counter hit your buttons out of out of their active frames. He's looking Mega Fist over them, stuff like that. Your 2H being more disjoint is going to make things harder for him. And the fact that you can get a farther distance 2H is very beneficial in this matchup as well. Faust. All these changes are good against Faust. Millia. It's like useful to have these changes, the 5H and 2H, but it's not that crazy. Zato, I think it's more important in these matchups. It's much easier to beat out, like, to kill Eddie when your 2H is more disjoint, larger, harder to counter poke. Ramlethal. I don't think it's actually, like, a huge deal. You want to play a very tight game against this character. So while it is good, the disjointedness on her grounded options means I don't think you're going to see a huge difference. Like a dynamic change for the 5H and 2H changes. Leo. I think it's good against him. He has very static movement. It's like very grounded, very controlled, very more predictable. I think your 5H being super active and your 2H reaching further away is going to make things a little bit better for you in neutral. Nago, big deal. The 2H buff is actually like key in this matchup. There's a lot of situations where it's very hard to hold an optimal range where you can whiff punish his options on reaction. With the 2H range buff, it's actually easier now to like whiff punish him at a distance for him whiffing like 2S, far S, 2H, stuff like that. So the 2H buff is like really good. 5H is like okay, but 2H here is what I'm most excited about. Geo doesn't do fuck all. Fuck this character. Anji, I don't know. He's gotten buffed, but your 5H and 2H work perfectly fine in this matchup. You're just watching for the Fujin armor, right? So against all of his other options, your buttons are very good. Against Fujin, it's the same situation. Ino, your 2H reaching farther, your 5H being very active is just good overall. The further your 2H reaches, the less safe she is doing stuff like note in neutral, because you can just slap her for doing note, right? The range you can sort of like threaten her with. Threaten her at? Increased? And this matchup was already pretty good for Faust. Goldlewis. Any buffs to mid-range for Faust? Your 2H getting a distance buff is very good against this character. He's big, he's slow. So setting up that optimal item toss range is going to be very easy for you. 5H, 2H, very good. Okay. That was the lightning round. Now, dive kick. This is going to focus more on like far S style normals, I think. But it's also a mid-range buff, so you're going to hear a lot of the same things. But there are some differences in some matchups. And let's get another wing. Ooh. Okay. Soul, bad guy. He's not the bad guy. Your dive kick getting buff means you can now counter poke his far S and 2S and like all of his S normals and even his H, kinda, and his dive kick, or not his dive kick, his gun flame, far more reliably with your dive kick startup buff, hurtbox buff, and the knockback buff. You're less likely to be punished on hit. We don't necessarily know what is going to happen and what this situation is going to look like on hit as a whiff punish, but I imagine it'll be better now, better and safer. So that's good. So this changes mid-range dramatically. You might now be able to threaten a lot more in this matchup thanks to the dive kick buff. Kai, same deal. His far S is going to get crushed by dive kick. He has a lot of like these long to recover like mid-range options. Fireball, far S, 2S, 5H, and even Fudra arc in a sense. Your dive kick is going to crush all of them, and because it's buffed, that's good. Mei, it's hard to say. This is one of the matchups where I'm not sure if the buffs to dive kick are enough to make them good enough. Because the hurt boxes and the hit boxes on her normals are so fucked up that getting over her stuff in pressure situations is exceptionally difficult. Axl. The dive kick will be a nice buff against Rensen and whiff punishing Rensen. Whiff punishing his command grab, whiff punishing all sorts of things. We'll have to see exactly what he's going to be like, what you're going to be able to get on a reaction after jumping, which is what I'm going to be looking for. I want to be able to jump, commit to nothing, see him whiff something under my body, and then dive kick and whiff punish. The startup change helps that a lot. Chipp. Going over far S would be nice. I hope so, with the dive kick buff. I think that's pretty much it for that. Pot. Dive kick is just like a very good harassment normal overall. If the changes on hit are dramatic, he's gonna hate dive kick and dealing with dive kick. But it depends, because like he might still be able to just heat knuckle you after getting hit by dive kick. We don't know. Probably not. Hopefully not. Faust. Dive kick. Faust is really good at punishing dive kick, so it's not going to change that matchup much. Millia Rage. Again, like going over mid-range, fast mid-range options is like the cornerstone of dive kick. So I'm looking forward to the new dive kick helping out in this matchup. Zato. Same deal. His buff to 5H might make it harder to like go over shit in mid-range. So I don't think we'll see a huge change in like the overall effectiveness of dive kick, given you might want to do it less in this matchup. Ram, if you can get over her far S and 5H with dive kick easily at like especially situations where you're 0, this is a big deal. Leo, it's hard to say. Hard to say if it's going to be a big deal. It's just how it goes. Hello, T-Glass Boy. Welcome to the stream. You caught me mid-sweat. Nago. In this matchup, it's very effective. Dive kick, especially over his far S and 2S normals, is like a free reaction whiff punish. It's quite strong to like jump over Nagoriyuki and reaction dive kick his shit. The problem was he could actually just do his up slash attack after getting hit. Fuck you up. So with the change to the hit stun, that might not be the case anymore. And now threatening him mid-range by going airborne might be safer. Geo. Actually, like, dive kick is a good counter poke in this matchup. The problem was she was so good at punishing afterwards. So we'll see. We'll see if that hit stun change is notable enough to make a difference. I still think the matchup's going to be garbage. Anji. We'll see how he does. I wouldn't use dive kick all too much in this matchup because the rest of your grounded options were so dominant. So we'll see. I know. Dive kick going over HCL, going over buttons and pokes and notes and whatever, made it very effective, and now it's more effective. So it might be an even stronger, more dominant tool in this matchup. Goldlewis. I didn't really like it in the Goldlewis matchup. His buttons are too big. There's no point to dive kick. You win on the ground, harass him on the ground, right? Okay. I mean, we all know wall break. I already talked about, like, wall break stuff. I'm feeling okay. I'm sweating, but it's hot in here. It's not cooling down. I have a fan on, no AC. So I have one more wing. So maybe I'll eat that wing and I'll talk about what I want for the future, for future changes, right? There are some things I thought about that I'd like to see, and I didn't see them here, but they're along that same vein of like strengthening Faust midrange. So I'll eat this wing, maybe get some ice cream, and chill. Big. You know what? Let's go. Let's get a thumbnail, you know? How do I do this? For YouTube or something? Like, that'll do it. It's what review? That's a review bra move, right? Where you fucking pose on camera just while you're doing shit. Just like slap it in the thumbnail. Fucking hilarious. That kid sends me somewhere. That's the funniest guy on YouTube, I swear to God. Don't forget to pong. That's true. Oh, no. One day. One day. It's just like look of disappointments, you know? That's what I'm good at. Goichi has the best thumbnails in the FGC. Smug has the best transitions. Goichi best thumbnails. Deb best stoner community, you know. Oh. I got bone shrapnel, sorry. Lots of bones. Whew. Anyways, where was I? All right. So, yeah, 2P being level 1 would be nice. Right now it's 0 on hit. A level 1 2P would make it +2 on hit and -1 on block. And I think that would even up a lot of matchups. Like I said, Faust needs about 10 frames to clear most far S normals. It would make his air. It would make him allowed to like threaten jump-ins, like post 2P, right? What else? Mix doing more damage and being more consistent, right? They didn't make any changes to mix probably. I want it to have like a consistent like bound mechanic. Maybe launch them in multiple directions, not just down. Imagine it launching them up. I would also like to see 2H cause a higher knockup. Like, you know how you sweep them, right? And they go, oh, and they fall? I want to see that dramatically increased. So that it's much easier to pick up with RC, PRC, or sorry, mix, fast RC. And like RC pickups in general. This would allow you to combo in a mix off 3 hits as opposed to only 2 hits, right? Doing like 5H or 5S, 2H, or 5S, 2S, 2H, mix. I would like that to combo. But right now it doesn't. Yeah, having them snap to Faust when they get hit would be good. I don't think we're going to see any hidden changes. I think that's it. Maybe I'll do open Q&A. And eat some ice cream. Oh, you can smell the pepper in here. Holy shit. So I bought 2 cartons of Haagen-Dazs. All right. Someone asked about Jacko. Thundersalt. Jacko will be like... Oh, and Kohobast. Jacko seems like it could go either way. I think she'll be very strong. Historically, she has things that are just fundamentally good at Faust. Persistently active buttons. Great Oki. Dominant projectiles. So we'll see. We'll see. So I went over this in the last stream about the Geo matchup. Her dash is ridiculous. So she can dash, and if she dash blocks, she doesn't stop moving. She doesn't slow down, right? So all of Faust's buttons create a disadvantageous state on block. All of them. The closer she gets, the worse it is. So your far S, your 2H, your 2S, your 2D, your 2P, your 5K, your dive kick, your bag toss. I think dash up 2K is probably like the best answer. But even then, that's like, you're not going to hit her. You're just going to be in a weird situation. So Faust struggles to like keep her out. Don't worry, there's no bad questions, Salty. Salty C. Galton asks, would you say Faust changes were substantial or not? Sorry if I've answered this already. I wouldn't say they're that substantial. We'll see. We'll see. It's hard to tell because they didn't give us a lot of info. And it was a lot of stuff he was doing already or having to do already, but the options weren't that effective.
Krackatoa!
2H getting like a hitbox buff is great. 5H getting more active frames is great. Dive kick getting a hurtbox and startup buff is great. But depending on if there's any frame data changes, right? It might not even change a slew of situations in certain matchups. Wall break super is interesting. Wall break super is great because so it knocks down. It's a hard knockdown. So Faust might get an item followed by a safe jump. That would be the best case situation. He might also get 2 items and just like distance, right? Which would also be good. That would be worth it. That's worth 2 bars. Or that's worth a bar. Especially because you're getting bonus damage on top of that, right? You're getting damage, Oki, right? So it's going to be a very good use of your meter going forward. And there's no tension penalty for doing super. You spend 50 bar, yes, but your meter gain stays the same, or even is good because you're going in after. You run after them, right? So there's, yes, you're spending 50 bar, but unlike RC, there's no meter scaling for the next like 5 seconds. So you can steamroll. And you get positive bonus. Oh yeah, that's right. Positive bonus denies the scaling on the RC to break the wall. Thank you, Adapt. I forgot about that. The best reasonable buff for Faust in Strive would be 2P being a level 1 move. So it does 2 more frames of block stun and hit stun. I think they're worried about like upsetting balance too much. I think they're just sort of like doing measured changes at the moment. But I think they're also interested. They have a couple of objectives, right? So one thing that stood out to me was that everyone's 5Ps now combo into 6P, I think, given the changes. So they're finding rules, right? They're setting rules of Guilty Gear to make it more streamlined, more universal. So it seems to me that every Far S style normal and every Far S normal can now be low profiled. That wasn't the case before. Soul 6S, right? Good example. May 5S. I think they're trying to figure out the game, and they're doing a big mechanics change in October, which means they will have to restructure how every character operates. So a character like Geo might get fucked in the new mechanics changes, because she has a multi-hitting normal, right? If there are changes to like IB or IBFD that make that bad, right? Because you can IB them all because they expand the timing window, or they get rid of the vacuum effect and do something else, right? Certain characters might actually start to suck with the new changes. They might not have enough counterplay. Do I think Faust will be bottom tier after the changes? Could be. Could be. I went over how the changes would help him in certain matchups. Anji getting super buffed might push him up. It'll depend, right? Because it's all relative to other characters, whether or not a character is bottom tier. Ino just got mega buffs, right? Anji just got mega buffs. Kai got some buffs. How badly do you miss Pogo? Not at all. New game. I can always play the old games if I want to use Pogo. I'm like, doesn't affect me at all as like a guy who just plays a bunch of games. Am I still streaming plus R? Trying to. It's hard. All my muscle memory is like gone because I've been labbing Strive. So I got to get used to hopping back and forth. It's going to take a while. It's going to take me like 2 weeks or so playing plus R to get back into the swing of things. Is there a part of this game that surprised you? I would say the fact that I had a lot of fun with like ridiculous item combinations. And Adapt knows this. Adapt made that the Rev Zero mod, right? And that was the most interesting thing, I think, was the fact that you could throw multiple items and have multiple items on the screen. And so this game has it. And that's just like a hoot. That's a lot of fun. So that's probably like why I'm still playing Faust, is because like the item combos are ridiculous. Otherwise, like, I'll be real. The game is like super whack. It's like characters explode, right? Damage is ridiculous on certain characters. Offense is really easy to run. You know, everything's super swingy. The reads are big. They're not hard to do, right? Playing low tier in this game is like a fucking... It feels like a joke. Like, I can lab other characters. I lab Soul on the side, like, just like labbing combos and stuff. And I'm doing this stuff and I'm labbing setups. I'm just like, why the fuck am I playing Faust? This character's so much better. Soul is a better Faust than Faust is. So, for me, for someone who plays like plus R and Exerd, there's not enough defensive juice, right, to hold my attention. But I know, and this game is very similar to SF5, which I stopped playing about 2.5 years after it came out, after playing it a lot. I just found that other games were more stimulating, right? Because they had more mechanics, more tech. I'm a tech guy. Like, come on, well, look at my YouTube, right? It's all tech vids and shit. So, for me, this is all the stuff I'm posting. Most of it is stuff I already know, right? Like, I'm giving you stuff I've learned already before Strive came out, right? I'm just adapting old concepts for Strive. And, like, I enjoy going through a game and, like, adapting old concepts to the new game. Because there are usually differences that come up with when a new engine is introduced. How do throw mechanics affect strategy? What option selects develop in this engine because of all the interacting parts, right? How do reactions play into things? What's every character's game plan? All that stuff. That's all fresh, but it's all application of old concepts, right? So when a game is too simple or doesn't have enough crazy stuff to it, all that's left for me to do is lab cleanliness, reactions, and like little specific things about character matchups. And there's less mastery of mechanics and less working on my own tech for my character, right? There's not a lot of like lab magic happening. It's just play a bunch of games, work on your fundamentals. And that's something I need to work on as a player. I'm historically weak at games like SF5. But that's because my like reactive play in mid-range is not like as on point as as most top players, right? And I make a lot of goofs, and historically I'm bad at adjusting, right? And so those are 3 things I need to work on, and I know I need to work on them, and I can work on them by playing a lot and improve that way. But is that tech? Am I learning tech? I'm playing a game where I feel like I'm disadvantaged relative to other titles, right? Which are knowledge heavy. Like knowledge heavy games I like excel in because I just like, oh, I just know everything about the game, the engine, and all the characters. Okay, let me burden you with like some obtuse, piece of knowledge mid-match. And you just don't have that in this game. So most of my advantages as a player, they're just not here. They just don't exist. There's no option selects. There's no like deep tech I need to learn, right? Or master. It's all just like learning to build a super solid game plan with, like, if you're playing Faust, generally weak tools, right? I'd probably do much better if I just played like a beefed up character like May or Soul or Chipp, because the math is just in my favor, right? The more the simpler your game is, the more the merits of playing top tier like kind of like show up, because the skill climb doesn't matter as much, right? It's not as like it's not like the dominating aspect of play. Merpjed, sorry if this is a newbie question, but other than just playing a bunch, what is a good way to learn matchups? Play against a bunch of people. Also, try to refine how you look at matchups, right? How you look at exchanges. Neutral, and where you should use your character's tools always relate to another character's tool. Always. So what you want to do, and it's not just watch VODs, as Bamboo's saying in chat. It's not just watch VODs, necessarily. But you want to understand that you want to take an option is you should be doing. You're like, I really should be using this. I see it being used in match VODs, right? Like 2H. Well, what options are 2H hedging against? Is it beating one option? You can usually see the one option it does beat because it worked if it hits, right? You're like, oh yeah, it really beat dash up. But what kind of dash up? Why were they dashing up? What option were they trying to beat with run forward? And now you have to involve the opponent. What is the opponent's answer? Like, what is he answering with dash up? What is dash up good against? Right? Well, running at an opponent is good against a player playing reactively, someone watching the screen, using low commit options. So, doing lots of 5p, 2p movement checks in neutral, keeping your eyes on the sky for anti-air opportunities. Dash up into buttons start to look, dash up into really active, like, fuck you normals, start to look really good. So in a sense, 5Ps in neutral, 2Ps make your far S and 2H stronger against run-up. But maybe they're hedging, right? Maybe they know that you only do like 5P, 2Ps, and 2H. Do they have an option that will take a pot shot at both or be safe against both, right? And so you have to run this thought experiment in your head. So in the Kai matchup, if I'm there whiffing like lights in neutral and Kai does TK stun edge, right? He'll whiff punish a 2H against Dasha. And he'll be safe because I'm busy whiffing like normals mid-range. I'm not running forward on prediction. So he's hedging against two options with one option. He's being safe against me whiffing jabs against his forward movement. And he's throwing a fireball at my 2H. And so what is that bolster of his? Just because he represented an air fireball, suddenly I'm going to run forward more in neutral, probably, to get the fat punish, right? And I might do less 2H. Because, like, if I whiff a 2P and he does a fireball and I don't punish him and he doesn't punish me, that's not a big deal. So he probably won't scare me away from a 5P or 2P. But I will stop doing 2H and far S. Very whiffable options. I might reduce the amount I do those. And if I'm reducing the amount I do 2H and far S, well, suddenly how am I covering mid-range? Kai might be like, oh, he's now playing reactively. He's doing dashes and watching the screen for fireball. Well, now I can run forward and do like dash up buttons. Right? So his air fireball to hedge against my 5Ps and my 2Hs buff his forward run. And if I know that, I know that if I get him to start air fireballing with my 2H, right? And I stop 2Hing, or maybe I really punish his air fireball by running forward. I traumatize him. Depending on the kind of player he is, whether he's fearful or not, or trained or not, I have counterplay ready to go. Oh, he's going to run at me. So I'm going to do dash in 5P or dash in 2K or a dash in button or even far S and 2H again if I really think he's not going to fireball anymore. And so this is just me theory crafting in my own head, right? I don't have a demo open to show you the world of I can't show you training mode right now. I don't have it open. I'm just here eating ice cream. But this is the approach I take when thinking about matchups. I bet you I missed a bunch of chats. I was in my own head. This is what crack posting is, by the way. This circular logic that doesn't stop. It's like a conversation with myself. I just start at the top of the tree, and I work my way down. BSJ Kupo asks, do you think Faust could be super OP if he got some whack changes? Of course. Level 4 dive kick. Let's go. Let's go. Level 4. They could still. They said they were buffing the knockback hit stun, maybe? they could buff its level, you know? But excuse me. Yeah, buff the fuck out of them. Any reasonable item toss changes. More items. Just give me more items. More RNG, more fun. I feel like half of floor 10 and below are fighting the game as much as their opponent. Dude, that's even Celestial. That's Celestial as well. But yeah, the thing is, it's not hard to make a game plan if you know what to look for. And this is where you see some players take off relative to other players, like in terms of like skill. It's because you start with a very simple, easy to apply game plan, and you develop that muscle for adjustment early, right? Instead of just doing things because you want to do it, your decisions always need to involve the opponent and their decisions. It always does. Your thinking should never stop at I want to do X or Y. It should always be I want to do X to beat Y done to beat my Z. That is the complete thought. Sometimes you can take it a little further. I want to do X to beat their Y aimed at beating my Z1 and my Z2. If you can, the more complicated you can make it, if you can find answers like that, if you can find like an option that satisfies that entire thought, a little algebraic expression, you will develop much quicker as a player. Say it with me, class. I want to do X to beat their Y that's done to beat my Z. All right? That will give you the context you need to like fully explain a situation. No, it's not RPS. RPS would be circular, right? Z does not beat X, right? The RPS, it is actually it is kind of like RPS in the end, but it's imagine 5 option rock, paper, scissors, and everything beats everything else or everything like beats a different spread of options, right? It's more like that. But there's a lot going on. Spacing changes how an option is represented. Meter, right? And then there's risk reward, right? There's how much reward do you get for each particular option. But when thinking, but just when walking through those situations, just think about like, never stop at I want to do 2H more. Think about I want to do 2H to beat their something. And think about what their something is, why they're doing that something. Why would they run at you? Why would they jump at you? Right? Why would they shimmy backwards? Why would they throw a fireball? Why would they do anything? Right? You have to answer those questions. Spin of the wheel for Alessandro. Got an afro. And Bamboozled 212. Got a donut. Congrats. Yeah. If you fail in neutral situations, this is the question you have to ask. Why are you doing the thing you're doing? Are you accommodating for human reactions when you make a decision? Right? Are you accommodating for your reactions? Right? What of your opponents, if they whiff it randomly in neutral, can you whiff punish on reaction just for standing there waiting? Can you, if you just watch? Answer that question. And that question involves your opponent's character. So you need to look at your opponent's character and go into training mode and ask them what they can whiff safely and what they cannot whiff safely if you're just waiting for them. And then ask yourself, do I have, for the stuff I can't whiff punish safely on reaction, what are my best prediction options for those options, right? Usually stuff that's really fast have weak hitboxes or weak to jump-ins or something. They have some kind of weakness. I just ate this entire thing of ice cream. That was a mistake.
Krackatoa
What is my overall take? The changes are conservative, but good. They're the right direction. They're not bad changes. Yeah, Super PRC is here, but it's expensive. But it's good. But I'm wondering if there's better ways to conserve your meter, right? Because I'm going through everything. I'm doing it at every opportunity when I don't need to, because my opponent's offense isn't that crazy. I feel like when I'm not 100% certain, I should hold back. It's not worth the meter. What does Super PRC lose to? Delayed meaties or very active normals. So like Geo's multi-hit kick attack done meaty will like fuck you up because you can't get enough invuln to go through it. Unless you just let the super rip, right? Do you think dive kick is going to be finally not punishable on hit? No idea. I have no idea. Probably still punishable on hit. IMO. Is it practical to build a strategy completely around item toss? Depends what you mean by completely. Items as a whole are generally pretty good, but if you're wasting like a really good Oki, right, it's probably not the best idea. It's hard to say. The thing is, in matchups where you really do want to go in, those are characters you probably don't have a lot of trouble with anyways. Faust's offense in close is very strong. I'm full now. We'll see how that hot sauce settles tomorrow. Last time wasn't so bad, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Anyways, that's the end of the show, I guess. I got nothing else. I have nothing else. Gurdro have an item toss. So I'll send you off somewhere. Congrats on pulling the hammer. I'll probably send you to... There's Sejim, Romola, Tashi. I'm gonna send you over to Romola. All right.
Super Operation Success!
I'll let you guys go and send you off. All right. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.